We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome into a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Monday. Appreciate you starting your week here with us. Hit that like button, share button, comment button as we come to you here from the Noodle. We'll be joined by Gordon McKernan at 8 a.m. this morning. Gordon will be in studio catching us up on NIL. He'll also be talking to us about raising some money for breast cancer awareness, as he has teamed up with NIL deals with 14 athletes. He'll tell us all about that coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. He'll also give us the latest update on NIL and what it's looking like here moving forward into 2022. We'll also talk to Jake Crane about an incredible college football weekend. We will talk all about LSU and their win in the Swamp over Florida, but all in all, a spectacular football weekend. It was obvious on Saturday that it was going to be a great day with Tennessee and Alabama. What an epic game that was. It went down right to the gun, 52-49. Most points Alabama had ever given up in that series of all time. Hendon Hooker and that offense, high at the wide receiver. What a day for college football. And then LSU and Florida later on with a really, really good performance for LSU and so much to take away. Before we get started, remember our friends over at Go Chevrolet, G-E-A-U-X, Chevrolet.com. Inventory is always online over there. They got brand new cars out in Laplace if you want to stop in and see the brand new car lot. And then the used car lot, of course, is over here at Go Express Auto Sales at Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. Metropolitan Health Group brings you our phone line each and every day. And just like we said, we are going to talk to Gordon McKernan in studio.
Confusion on your face for a second as to why I'm looking at a black screen. I was like, that's not what's going on the stream.
Gordon McKernan will be here at 8, and Jake Crane will be here at 8:30. Watch party looked fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
With Caskey, Lloyd, Noah, and crew. Man, that was good stuff to see Caskey watching the game. Shows you just a little bit inside the mind of football coaches, just kind of what they're looking at, some of the things that they point out. But
a little Manning-esque, a little Manning cast.
Yeah.
He's like, can we get a timeout? Can we get it? Can we burn one? Can we burn one? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we looking at? And I was like, this is awesome to be a part of. Just to see a coach, because he was, whether or not he meant to, he was like, he got caught up in rooting for LSU a little bit, and he was like, all right, this is what they have to do offensively. And I was like, this is awesome. I felt like I was on the sidelines.
It was
electric.
It was great to watch. And shout out to the crew, Joni Miller and the crew over at the Bone Bash was over at La Berge on Saturday night. Great entertainment by the Cam Powell Band, and it was a cool crew and good to be a part of the Arthritis Foundation with all of the benefits going there. Thanks to everybody for having us out, and it was great to be a part of that night. Everybody was peeking, obviously, at the TV throughout the evening, and it was a costume party for the Bone Bash.
And where did we go?
I kind of flaked out. I flaked out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, all the way up until like 5 o'clock, I was going as a disco star with Kelly.
Right, which you had to plan on Friday.
Absolutely, which we were gonna, and Kelly, big costume, huge costume.
That goes way back, like almost a lot.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a lot.
It could be a worse pairing in terms of like, I'm not prepared at all. She's like, oh, I've been doing this for like a month.
I mean, I think our first Halloween together, I was Steve Jobs just because I put on a pair of glasses.
Yeah, and a black mock turtleneck.
Yeah, right. But. So we ended up getting an apartment in New Orleans for Saturday night. Kind of came through late, so we were just going to get on the road Saturday directly after the deal, She was packing the bags. We were going to get to New Orleans.
Everything's good.
Yeah, right. It's kind of working out. So I was going to do a little eyes wide shut with the suit, kind of have the MC thing. Once I show up, I'm like, screw this mask, bro. I'm just going MC here. Yeah, right. I'm watching the game. But it was awesome. And a lot of people dressed up. They had a costume contest, and it was a cool night. But obviously everybody was peeking at the television watching LSU Florida. And in true LSU fashion, the game starts off very slow for them. They're starting from behind, which has been kind of usual here for LSU as Florida strikes early.
Shut.
Good Lord.
Starting from behind.
As Anthony Richardson hits one over the top of the LSU defense. And then after that, LSU is able to, kind of find their footing and settle in. And once Jaden Daniels gets going on Saturday, he was able to find that rhythm that I think we've all been curious if he was going to be able to find, right? So every Monday morning, our first hour brought to you by Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. Remember, you can get online to have oysters freshly shucked and buttered delivered to your back door from our friends over at Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. If you use the promo code Jordy online, you save yourself 20%. Every Monday morning, 7 o'clock hour, brought to you by our friends over at Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. What the Shuck is LSU's passing game starting to come to life as Jaden Daniels on Saturday night, his best game as a Tiger, 23 of 32, 349 yards, and 3 touchdowns through the air. He also accounted for 3 on the ground. 6 total scores for Daniels on Saturday was what his stat line looked like, and it was a really good, dominant, confidence-building performance. Now, he did have the one turnover in the fourth quarter, which was one, it was his worst pass of the night, just kind of a little something over the middle that, he kind of threw over the top. It kind of got away from him and sailed on him and was intercepted by Florida. But a roughing the passer call, which, probably 3 years ago, 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, is not called in college football. But in 2022 and beyond, it's going to be called 10 out of 10 times. And it negates the turnover. LSU's able to kick their way out of it. More positive at the end was Damian Ramos coming in and booting a 47-yarder to put that thing on ice for LSU and get out of the swamp with a 10-point win. It was a very impressive win all around for LSU. I think that any time you can go on the road in the league and win a game, it's always going to be, just take it however you can get it. And for LSU to get it in the way that they, were able to, kind of go through some of the things that have been haunting them early on, special teams blunders, where you've got a muff punt, you give up a long kickoff return to start the game, and even some things defensively where, you kind of had to kind of catch your footing. I know I was barking on this last week, but again, Harold Perkins didn't play enough. And I don't mean to start
do the whole thing again. Do it.
No, I'm not going to do the whole thing again, but it's
Should
just
LSU fire Will Wade?
And speaking of Caskey's clicker, Coach Caskey went back and he was watching some of the film, and he pointed out Harold Perkins' play total. He played 30 plays on Saturday. He was on the field 12 versus the run, 5 in a pass rush situation, 11 in coverage, and 2 plays that were negated. He had 5 solo tackles, 1 quarterback hurry, which should have been a forced fumble, but got called incomplete at the end of the game.
How was that?
2 calls on Saturday, I thought, for LSU were just like, what are you the Brian Thomas sideline catch to be overturned? Like, what did you see to make you overturn that. Brian Thomas, by the way, needs more targets. And that's what we're talking about, 50-50 balls with Jayden Daniels. Just throw it up. Odds are one of these freak athletes is going to just outplay the guy that's defending him. And, that's ultimately what Thomas did. He just jumped over the guy. So, it was good to see some of those names, some of those faces, some of those guys get targets. But, Harold Perkins, at the end of the game, when you needed a play, he makes a play. When you look up, he's always around the football. And, for him to be schemed off the field, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense because of every time he's out there, something happens. Even if you go back to last week versus Tennessee, we pointed it out. He was on, what was he on the field? Nine plays.
9 times.
The second play he's out there, he got a holding call against him. He's just always affecting the game. The way that he closed on Richardson on Saturday, Richardson had no idea that he could get there that quick. He shocked Anthony Richardson by how fast that he got there.
Twice.
And, it just, every time you turn on the film, Perkins is around the ball. Well, he can't be out there in nickel situation. Take Ali Gay off the field and stand him up and just pass rush him.
They did that late.
Keep him on the field would just be my only argument. And I'm not, look, rewind the tape. You know how I feel. But him playing 30 plays last week, that was an improvement. But he still needs to play more. He still needs to be out there more. Because every time he's out there, something like that happens. I thought Josh Williams played fantastic. I thought Williams ran the ball really, really hard. He made some big-time carries. Obviously, the opening carry of the second half where he busted 50 yards is the one that stands out. But I think all night long he was just bullying people. He averaged nearly 8 yards a carry. What was it, 7.6 yards a carry? Williams was averaging on 14 carries for 100 yards. He obviously had that long of 50. But, tough, really hard-earned yards for Williams on Saturday. I really thought that he kind of took a step forward as being a guy that you can really trust. And like we said, he's the one out of the room, the group, that really can do the most things the best. Pass protection, protect the football, run inside, run outside, catch it. He's as well polished as they have. Emory looked good on Saturday, making some plays and, helping you in both run and pass. But you don't trust him enough in ball security. You don't trust him enough in pass protection. You don't trust him enough in enough areas to have him out there for the majority of the snaps. Josh Williams has proven and continues to prove that you can trust him. You can trust him not only with the ball in his hand, but you can trust him to protect. So, he is slowly but surely becoming one of the more dependable guys on this offense that you can turn to in third and short situations, in big time down and distances to make sure and protect the ball and get you positive yardage. He to me is one of those guys that when you continue to continue to struggle on special teams, he's one of those guys that looks up and feels like his personality fits on a lot of the groups. Obviously, you don't want to lose him on a special teams play, but he feels like a guy that can do just about anything you ask him to do. Huge day for Josh Williams on Saturday. He got the game ball in the locker room after the game in the Swamp. He deserved it. 14 carries, 106 on the ground, averaged 7.6 yards a carry. He also had a catch for 8 yards. And speaking of the receivers, that's exactly what you were expecting going into the season, And that's what you've been hoping to see week in, week out with the inconsistent play that's been plaguing that group. But the quarterback was taking shots down the field, was throwing the ball on time, getting rid of it, and you saw what happens when you put the ball in Malik Neighbors, Jeray Jenkins, Brian Thomas, John Emery, Kyron Lacey, Josh
Kayshawn
Williams,
Boutte.
and I was saving
Oh, sorry, my
Kayshawn
bad. I didn't mean to step
for
on
the
you.
last because his 6 grabs for 115, averaging nearly 20 yards per grab with a long of 40 is exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, that could not have come at a better time, at a better moment for both quarterback and star wide receiver to see if they can't get on schedule with one another going into this gauntlet of the schedule, because now they're in it, right? I mean, you're in the third week of, or excuse me, you're heading into the fourth Saturday in October, and LSU is got a real opportunity, I believe, this weekend against an Ole Miss team that has to be, just from a confidence standpoint, a little weary after a 48-34 game against Auburn, where it felt like they never had control of it. There were times where it felt like they were way out in front in control, but then you would turn it back and see, wow, this thing's kind of slipping away from them, and feels like this game is a lot closer than it should be. And from LSU's standpoint, to leave the swamp with the confidence that you take away, with guys like Kayshawn being engaged, Jaden Daniels having a huge day, Brian Thomas starting to make plays like he was, the defense starting to pop like they've been making plays and coming along. And even the special teams, I thought in the second half, for as much as they played bad in the first half, and they still have things that they have to clean up. And it's incredible just how much they struggle with the basic stuff. But, look, this is the same storyline that has plagued that unit for a while. But I thought that they closed the game strong, obviously with Ramos's field goal, but even in the coverage game and, even in the kickoff game, I think that, Dilbert's is doing a really good job of they're asking him to kick the ball into the end zone. Nice work. That's as simple as it needs to be. It's as easy as it needs to be.
One step at a time. We got one part of the phase figured out for LSU special teams. Now let's work on catching the ball a little bit. Let's work on tackling a little bit. But you know who did? If you want to talk about Harold Perkins a little bit, you know who shined on special teams? Perk 40.
Absolutely.
Made 2 tackles that had to be made.
He's got to be out there. Those are the types of players that need to be on those units, because they're struggling with that type of stuff, tackling. Open field tackling, athleticism, and not going to find
no better one.
Yeah, you're not going to find too many people that are more athletic or can tackle in the open field better than 40 can. So but back to the wide receivers. I think that the wide receivers are an obvious strength of the entire team. I think that they need to be the focal point of the offense, and that's the best recipe for LSU to have life against some of these opponents like Ole Miss, which is going to score points, and Alabama, which has proven that they can get into a shootout and score points with you as well, and have a real opportunity. Because I don't think that LSU needs to be looking at these next 2 games as sincere underdogs. I feel like that Alabama is beatable. I know that there's some areas where you don't match up well with Alabama, and for Ole Miss for that matter, but both of these teams are beatable if you're looking at them from LSU's vantage point, especially with the way that they played last weekend, or they played on Saturday. That has to be the igniter, the confidence booster that the offense has been looking for. To get Will Campbell back, how much of a difference does he make? Late in that game, you go for it on 4th down. You're nearly in the same situation that you were last week. This time you run left because you've got, this mammoth of a left tackle who's just moving people, and that's what makes the difference. So, LSU getting healthy, getting right, maybe Armani Goodwin gets back, but, Josh Williams, as we said, has really started to find his way and become the primary back on this team. These next two games, I also think, you catch Ole Miss for LSU's standpoint, at a great spot on their schedule, right? They're coming off of a tough game, 48-34 versus Auburn. They play LSU. Then they've got next two games are at Texas A&M and versus Alabama. These are two huge games for Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, a guy that, really has kind of been running his mouth all season at Jimbo. You could tell that Jimbo was really annoyed with Kiffin. This is something that Kiffin, Ole Miss have been looking forward to, of traveling over to College Station and going to play Texas A&M. I think that LSU kind of catches Ole Miss in a look-ahead spot. I really do, where they could be maybe overlooking LSU to the point where LSU could catch them at home. And if LSU's making plays offensively like they were making on Saturday, everybody's in play. If you can score 45, if you can score like that, well, then you can play with all of the teams left on your schedule, Alabama included. Now, again, I understand that there are some areas in that game and in that matchup that favor Bama in a huge way, and and maybe even Ole Miss this weekend, but not things that you can't overcome by making plays like you did on Saturday and getting Kayshawn involved and getting the passing game working and moving. Yeah, one thing that I loved about the passing game was, I love the vertical stuff down the field, but like Jaden Daniels had check downs. He was able to, which also limits his running, right? Like if there's somebody there for him to just dump it to rather than just tuck it and run it, it limits the hits on him. It takes away hits on the quarterback. And, you put the ball in the hands of some of these playmakers. Even though Daniels, man, how fast is he?
When you turn the corner on that one going left
to the left side,
it was
right side.
impressive.
The linebacker he knew he was gonna. He didn't even touch him.
Yeah, he had the angle the whole way and didn't even get close.
He's got that accelerator where he's just like, I have another gear and you don't know it, and he just pushed it. They may be a little LSU bias, but they hit him late all the time. Like, whenever he's going out of bounds, they always give him, like, a little nudge on the way out. They're like, we need to get this guy out the game.
Yeah, well, to be expected when your quarterback's running like that.
Absolutely.
But I thought there was a third and, like a third and, 4 or something where he was, starting to run outside. Then he kind of, cut it back inside and picked up, like a running back.
Yeah. Like, he almost could have made, another move. And just get down. But he was, thinking, I see green grass. I'm about to take off. He is electric. This is, look, I know there's a lot been made of the Jaden Daniels saga at LSU, but if that's what you're going to get, that's why we were so opposed to the Tennessee game plan. That's not what he does well.
Yeah.
He put the game in his hands. You're going to live or die by the way Jaden Daniels plays. And if you let him do stuff where he's comfortable, Jaden Daniels seems like he can kind of thrive in that offense. It seems like a little different game plan than LSU has been doing normally.
Well, get the ball out of your hand quick
and get them to your playmakers.
Well, I think that's what
easy stuff
people have been clamoring for, because that's who LSU is. That's who you have an inconsistent offensive line, and not inconsistent in the way that they're playing, inconsistent by just the combination. Right? Just by the nature of the group alone, you want consistency of guys playing alongside one another. LSU has just not played alongside one another with the same group for an extended amount of time, which is going to cause inconsistency, and it's also going to, be a lack of trust between the quarterback and that group until you got to go through reps, and you got to go through drives, you got to go through halves, you got to go through games, you got to go through practices together, and they've just not been able to have a consistent group out there. By health has really plagued the group, but that to cover that up, don't put them in a situation where they have to protect for a while. 1001, 1002, get the ball out of your hand. You should never get to 3, 4, or 5. And if you're at 3, it better be coming out on the click of 3. It needs to be quick quick trigger, get the ball out of your hands, let these guys touch it in space. The John Emery touchdown was beautiful. Just simple, just out route, make one guy miss, score. They went back to it when they needed a first down pickup in the second half. The difference of the game for LSU offensively, outside of the big plays, was the third down conversions. The way that they were converting third downs on offense. They were 8 of 12 on third downs.
That's money downs. Got to have it. And
specifically, Jaden Daniels was at one point, I believe, was 6 of 7 on third downs for over 100 yards and a touchdown. They were making plays at key moments, and they were doing it with probably their best position group. Where everybody's touching, everybody is contributing, everybody is feeling it, everybody's making plays, and that shouldn't be, kind of an outlying situation. It should be every Saturday. They're too talented of a group.
And I think that's why this feels so good if you're an LSU fan, is because this is what you would hope that it looked like, right? When people have been, kind of pounding their hands on the table, say, get the ball to your playmakers, get the ball to – this is why, because they're such a special group. Whenever you give them 50-50 balls, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, obviously Kayshawn, John Emery, when you get those guys the ball in space, this is what LSU can look like. That looked like a dangerous team on Saturday night, where you're in the swamp, a place where Jaden Daniels has never been. He scored 6 touchdowns, 3 throwing, 3 rushing, and – that's what LSU can be. That's not how Florida thought it was going to go. That was I know the scoreboard looks like the scoreboard, but you're a couple plays away from that being a, pack up and go home, take Tom Petty with you.
They were up 21 going into the fourth.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Micah Baskerville, he had a huge night, but he forgot how to tackle on that 81-yarder that Richardson.
Get the ball
he just
out.
Pushed him.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was.
He was trying to get him to the sideline, I guess, but at that point, tackle.
Yeah, just wrap him up.
Get him down.
But, they were up 21 going into the fourth. They were dominant. Would they score the first 6 drives they had the ball? They were dominating Florida for a minute. They were they showed that shot of Florida's defensive line, they were melting on the sideline. They couldn't get it right.
Standing up on the bench.
It was
bro, you're the one getting your ass kicked all game. It was
beating his chest.
Yeah.
It was.
That's not a good sign. By the way.
No, it's not. And then they look up, and right after they show that, LSU's driving right back down the field and scoring. I think that was the Jaden Daniels keeper when he went left and outran the 51 linebacker. It was, it was for a minute there. You looked up and you were like, okay, this is what it could be. And I know that Florida is not championship level Florida, but they're also not bottom tier SEC. They made a team that is quick and athletic look slow and kind of out of space. It was pretty intimidating for a minute, I'd imagine, for teams to look around and say, wow, look at LSU's offense, the way that they can get clicking. Offensive line only allowing a sack. I think that's a combination of good play by that group and play calling by Mike Denbrock. I think Mike Denbrock deserves, for as much,
game ball.
As much grief as we've given him over the past couple of weeks, he deserves praise when it looks like that, because I think, whatever was coached up to the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands, and the plays that were being called were really, matching up very well with one another. That was impressive to see those two work hand in hand with one another and see what LSU can look like when the passing game gets going.
And the running game. I mean, they didn't get away from it at all. Like against Tennessee, they just got away from the running game almost completely, and it was just Daniels throwing it 50 times and running it himself. But then, this past Saturday, they stuck with it, and they kept handing the ball off. And that's probably why the passing game came easier, was because you can't just send them back and try to shut that down.
LSU was clicking in on all faces. As bad as the Tennessee game was, that's as good as the Florida game was. That's the tale of two teams right there. That's what you get when you have a new staff and everybody. I can see how that can happen, but it's hard not to be a little bit optimistic going in after you see that Florida game. Now you feel like the Ole Miss game is not as out of hand, because if you had played Tennessee, then you had Ole Miss next on your schedule, you'd be like, well, Tennessee's going to do exactly what Ole Miss just did. Their offense isn't that different. And it's kind of more doom and gloom. You see LSU kind of put their stamp on Florida at Florida. That's a big road win environment for a team that's only gone on the road, against Auburn and now against Florida. They haven't been that battle-tested yet in terms of SEC play. For them to be able to kind of take over that stadium like that and be able to own the moment, that was massive.
I'm telling you, man.
And to have a former walk-on and Josh Williams be like, he's a guy now. There's no Noah Cain. I don't think he played a snap. And then you have John Emery, who's your game breaker. You can see kind of everybody finding their identity on offense. And if Jaden Daniels is able to move the ball like that and get it out of his hand, Coach, LSU might be onto something.
Did we find out what happened with Besh? Why did he dress back?
They said it was a back injury,
Bacchiotomy?
lower back, something. But
it's both of you.
It was weird. It was just weird timing, because you see they
cut to him and he's in sweats. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. Where's it? Boy, don't know how to take care of a dog.
I couldn't believe that happened to Besh.
What?
That ball ate him up.
Yeah.
He got lost in the sauce.
Ball hit him in the face.
And it hit him. The break concussed him. That's why he was out.
I just, I understand what Brian Kelly and, Polian would be saying in that situation, where it's
catch it.
Well, you got it's what they believe the best guy back there to do that. At least to catch the ball. And
it ate him up. Do you think they're just – look, I'm not here to bag on Polian because LSU won, but when you see, the TV copy and he's sprinting down the sidelines, right before the punt, and he's running down there, they're doing a little too much. Just let him stand back there and catch the kick. What are we trying to do?
Yeah, I don't –
he's moving him around too much. Just let him go be an athlete.
Catch it.
I'd imagine that Polian is pressing.
You think?
Just
over under how many games until he takes off the gold hat? We all
never.
see you.
Never.
They had the camera sitting in him,
he had a Polian cam.
waiting for something to happen. The second the muff punt happens and they recover it, boom. Camera on Polian.
It was.
He's right there.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Good night.
It's
the first.
It's hard to watch.
Finally, LSU defers, which to be honest, I love deferring, and you saw it bear out in the game when LSU gets the ball back in the second half. They score and score again.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. You want to be able to have the ball when it's most important. That's later in the game, but. The first kick. He returns it 50 yards.
Yeah.
Next play, the third play of the game, touchdown, 51 yards. You're I am so tired of reading this book. I have read this story, seen this movie, stop making it, and it's just oh, how? It's almost laughable at this point to where you muff a punt, give up a huge return.
Well, I think that's why they have the camera set on.
Yeah,
they're just something's
gonna happen.
We know for sure
they're gonna fuck it up.
That Polian's group's gonna screw up. Put your camera on the guy with the gold hat.
He's easy to see out there.
He is. It's just
comical.
It's every week.
He's like a cartoon character.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
It's just
dude, if your production truck is telling you, watch the special teams
follow
coach.
The special teams coach. We've got guaranteed content on the special teams coach.
If anything, the Kalani's
and what if they're like, here we go, opening kick of the game.
There
he is.
Nailed it.
Bam.
Told you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, some guy in the truck's like, I told y'all, man. I told y'all.
Why don't y'all put camera 6 on Paulie and see him with their gold hat over there? Why, just let me take a shot here. Let me just watch.
Dude,
it's gonna bear out. First play.
Boom.
Nailed it. Plus 600.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Raise.
But
my
you know, I mean,
God.
it just the special teams. You know, obviously, it's obvious they are talking about them. It's plaguing them. They're working on them. I mean, even
story.
Greg McElroy, who, you know, I mean, at times it's tough to listen to call a game. I mean, he's like, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, he's like, I've never seen anything like this. That the way that LSU just gives away the ball on special teams weekly. I mean, it's almost like a built-in giveaway every week. You know what I mean? Outside of the one, that is the one turnover for LSU on Saturday, special teams.
I mean, you have to bake into your game plan that LSU is going to give it away on special teams at this point.
It's
Then
wild.
they switch. I mean, I don't know how they switched before Besh got hurt. Like they put Clayton back there before Besh was out. I mean, if there's any positive, Brian, I got your back here. Ramos is really built for the moment because that was a massive kick to be able to make. Whenever you haven't seen him yet, like in that moment, like you saw Cade York early on, not comparing the two, but just saying new guy, he had to do it against
Big
Texas
moment.
early,
Big
big
moment.
moment, you get it out the way. This was in the swamp. You could kind of feel the momentum shifting after Tom Petty got the place lit. That was
Well, the last time he had a moment was Florida State, and it gets blocked.
he doinks it.
Yeah, so.
And he's like he hasn't been bad. Like
No,
I don't
he's
think
not.
he's
Yeah.
missed kicks. He's had like protection
I think
issues.
Ramos and Bramlett have been sneaky,
Football is life.
like good parts of special teams. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Bramlett.
Bright spots.
huh?
Bramblett, or your punter and your kicker.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything else around it. I mean, I don't know how to.
Yeah.
That seems like a little bit of would be coaching, but the specialists that you got are good if you let them do their thing. But I don't know what you do moving forward. We were saying on, I know this isn't what you should do, but we were saying on the Cassie's clicker, do you just rush 11 and not put somebody back there at this point? Because what's the point?
You talking about like to field the punt?
Yeah, no punt team. Like, just go blitz them. Like, because now they're not returning anything. Like, there's no kickoff.
Well, they're so
return.
shook.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's
ain't
so
no such thing as
shook,
halfway
man.
crooks. Like,
I mean, they're so nervous. You can just see them and feel it back there.
and that's the worst spot you can be. It's like, hey, it's Chuck Knobloch. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
going to hit you this ground ball. You have to throw it to first. I can't do it anymore. Like,
Right.
okay. Well, the ball's going to find you every time.
Grilled oyster kits, shucked and buttered oyster kits delivered to your door. They do the shucking, you do the grilling over at Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. Get in touch with them online at BayouCarlinOysterCo.com. Use the promo code Jordy online and save yourself 20%. They got a lot of cool flavors to choose from, including garlic parmesan, caramelized onion, and bacon butter. You can get in touch with them over at Bayou Carlin Oyster Co. at BayouCarlinOysterCompany.com. BayouCarlinOysterCompany.com. They do the shucking, you do the grilling. They drop it off to your back door. Use the promo code Jordy. Save yourself 20% for online orders that you can pick up right now. Remember, if you are getting out to the game this weekend, you're hosting tailgate, and you want the taste of South Louisiana at the tailgate, easy. Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. BayouCarlinOysterCompany.com. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-9797 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyColladaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure to use the promo code Jordy Collada Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Collada for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest, then you might be suffering from low testosterone? Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. Stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with it. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome back here to a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Appreciate you starting your week here with us. Make sure you hit the like button, share button, and comment button if you don't mind. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscription button. Our Monday first hour is brought to you by our friends over at Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. We play What the Shuck.
And if you don't gamble, maybe gamble.
Yeah, sure. Caesars Sportsbook.
I mean, it couldn't have been me that hit a
right.
4-leg parlay and a 5-leg parlay yesterday.
Really?
Deal. Couldn't have been me.
For as much as I talked about Tennessee all last week, I got right to the finish line.
Yeah.
Took Bama.
I'll take them.
I just wasn't going to get burned by Saban on this.
Tough. I mean, I guess, dude, but to your credit, your Hayden Hooker for Heisman looks
Yes.
unbelievable right now.
I love Tennessee's offense.
Well, that's what was so frustrating if you're an LSU fan, right? Is like you saw how easy it can look. And LSU feels like it took some part of that game with them in terms of like what they saw offensively from Tennessee. And LSU's like, we can't do it like that, but we can do some of these things.
Yeah.
To get, like, LSU probably has better athletes than Tennessee.
I agree.
And then just,
I agree.
I mean, Jaden Daniels or Malik Hooker, or Hendon Hooker, sorry, is probably like Jaden Daniels like 4.0. Like that's what you would want best case scenario.
Sure.
Like, oh my God, give me that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a fifth year senior.
Yeah.
Like,
24 years old.
Yeah, like that's what you get when you have experience in the NFL. I mean, going into the NFL, but like you get like an older guy that's ready. If Jaden Daniels does have a year to come back, if it starts to build on this, you got a juicy offseason for LSU football.
I'm here for it.
We need it.
Brandon Hollingsworth. Serious question. How in the hell is Tebow's number 15 not retired at Florida? I can't believe they let Richardson wear that number. We were at LeBear's on Saturday night at the Bone Bash, and we were watching the game in the corner, and there was a diehard LSU fan back there, a woman, and the first thing she said when she was watching the game is, how do they give Tebow's number away?
That's their Joe Burrow.
And I was thinking to myself, like, I mean, she's kind of right. Like, I mean, how do you just like break the glass case to give it away to this guy? I mean, like, you would think if you're going to give it away to a recruit, it would at least be like somewhere like 50 years from now. You know what I mean? It's not like the first 5-star quarterback that comes through there that asked to wear number 15. It is very surprising, I think, that for as much as they just worship Tim Tebow in Gainesville, that they just gave his number away to Anthony Richardson. I mean, this guy that, like, can't throw. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's like Peyton Manning. It's not like he's like Cam Newton. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's their. If you're Florida football, Tim Tebow is your there's a statue of the man. There's a plaque of a speech that he gave. They're about to come out with this documentary on Florida that's going to be electric about the Urban Meyer years for Florida with Anthony Hernandez? Aaron Hernandez, Tim Tebow, like that whole squad. Percy
Riley
Harvin,
Cooper.
The Pounceys.
The Pouncey Bros.
Cooper kind of slid through this whole thing. He got away with one. But like all of that and Urban Meyer at the top of it, it's like this is your God? And then you have the God-fearing Tim Tebow in there. It's like unbelievable story for Florida. But yeah, it's like giving 9 away. Like, I would imagine it's like that thing. No, don't even. You're kind of out if you ask for it.
Yeah, I don't think it would ever be okay.
I don't even know if they would have given like 9 to Walker Howard.
No.
Like,
it's untouchable. Like 7 is a thing. 18 is a thing. 9 is going right next to, you see Tommy Casanova, it's going to be Joe Burrow up there on the, like, and Billy Cannon. Like, that's the halls that you're walking in. And speaking of wearing jerseys, how about Joe Burrow pulling out the JM game-worn jersey? Jamar had to take it off the wall.
Off the wall.
You know, they were...
Yeah.
Can I wear that?
I'm wearing that. I'm wearing that.
Joe, what?
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do that. You think I could wear that? Yeah, man. Okay. Take it. That was an all-time swag moment.
I saw the Burrows yesterday.
Hop on the Bengals train.
It was awesome in there yesterday in the Dome. Not a seat in the house.
Y'all had terrible seats.
It was awesome. ended up waking up in New Orleans on Sunday morning, experienced a ton of Cincinnati fans. I'm telling you, just walking throughout the quarter, there were Cincinnati fans everywhere. Then you get into the Dome, and you could see a ton of orange and black.
Vibes immaculate.
Vibes incredible. Saints come out, play okay. I thought the 4 straight field goals was really what cost them.
Yeah, you can't just
I
keep.
mean, like, you can't play.
Miles.com.
You can't shoot twos while
No,
they're
Ed
shooting.
Orgeron.com.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
can't shoot twos while they're shooting threes.
Right.
Like, it's like we can't play this game. I mean, like, even up in the stands, you're thinking like, this is gonna end bad. This is gonna end bad because he's gonna let him just hover. He's gonna let him just, stay around. I'm like, Burrow's he's about to rip y'all's heart out. He's about to rip your heart out, man.
And Jamar ripped it out.
Oh man,
2
Jamar,
touch.
man to man at the end of the game. That's a tough way to lose.
Yeah.
Prime times it into the end zone in his hometown. You're just like, oh.
You see him fake the hammy
Yeah.
on the gritty.
I did. I actually thought he was hurt for a second. I was like, oh, no way. And I was like, of course not. He just.
But he catches it. He breaks a tackle, and then it's 1-on-1 with Tyrann Mathieu. And
I mean, he
Passing
danced.
of the torch.
He danced through Tyron.
Yeah, I mean, that was easy.
That was.
It's Jamar.
You could feel it coming.
Yeah.
You could feel it coming in the Dome. I'm telling you, like when they kicked the last field goal, when they sent Lutz out, I was like, Burrow's about to be number 1 on top 10 tonight. He's about to cut their heart out. And sure enough, man. I mean, was it first down?
The sandwich.
yeah, it was the first play
It was
after
the
the
first.
punt.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the first
60
play.
yard touchdown.
Boom. I mean,
10-yard
if
route
nothing
breaks
else,
it
Y'all
off.
forgot who I am?
If nothing else, he did you a favor.
Yeah, give you some time on the clock. A sweet serial killer.
And then the little missed call at the end of the game when Eli Apple
Yeah.
for the Saints. Eli kind of tripped up Callaway.
I thought it was a good no call.
He still had on third down. He
Yeah.
still had Callaway running
Free.
by himself. I mean, like down the middle of the field. But great atmosphere in the Dome. I think that the Saints really quickly look very old. Mm-hmm. Like they look like the roster. As much as we've been praising the roster, and it has been an elite roster in the league for a while, I think it's 1 year too many. And, when you're down Jarvis Landry, when you're down Mike Thomas,
Chris Olave.
when you're down Olave, and you're taking on the offense that Burrow has. I mean, when you see Cincinnati up close, you forget how many weapons they have.
Well,
on
and you're
offense.
missing Marshawn Lattimore.
Right.
You have every other DB has to step up. I mean, you're just missing all these guys, and you expect to be able to beat an offense like that.
It was great to be there, though. It was cool to be there. Saw Jimmy, Robin. I saw Danny. Danny.
In his element.
He was great. But it was a great environment in the Dome. It was a tough way to lose, though. That's a tough loss for the Saints.
It doesn't. I mean, obviously, there's like hardcore Saints fan and hardcore like LSU fans that are going Bengals.
Right.
I wouldn't say they're rooting for the Bengals over the Saints, but I mean that's a terrible way to lose one if you're a Saints fan. But also, it's sweet and sour. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, of course this happened. Like
Yeah.
I've seen this movie before, but I usually like the ending, and now it's like, oh. Imagine being Clemson. Imagine being Alabama.
They had him bottled. They had him bottled up on that blitz too, and he just snuck out of there.
It was the Georgia play where he's just like, I'm getting out of here. Or the play against Clemson where he sneaks out.
His ability to turn his back on the defense and turn around and like regain his footing. That's the part of his athleticism that still surprises me. Like, to be able to do that on an NFL field, man, like to do that against an SEC defense on carpet the way he did it his senior year was super impressive against Georgia. The way he was, able to dance out of trouble against Alabama was super impressive.
The first play against Clemson in the national championship gets called back, but he did the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, but yesterday there were like 2 instances where he sprints almost like with his back to the defense to gain ground and then like turn his shoulders and still makes a play. I mean, his athleticism is still undervalued is as athletic as he is. You know what I mean? He
Well, 'cause
truly is.
It looks like, because what he's doing is unorthodox. Like, you don't turn your back to the defense, and like he gives up ground to gain ground almost, and it's like,
Right.
oh no. Like, once you see him be able to find some space, you're just like, something's about to happen. Whether you're a Bengals fan or if you're an LSU fan, you know what Joe Burrow is doing when he's doing it. You see it. You know, you're like, uh-oh, if he's able to get free here, he's looking downfield, he's about to take a shot. And whenever Joe Burrow sees something, it's usually 9 out of 10 times he's looking either to Jamar or somebody downfield open. And that's what makes him, like, his elusiveness, while it isn't, like, sexy, it works.
Yeah. Nola P, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd can play with any trio in the league. You throw the 25. Why am I forgetting? Joe Mixon.
Oh, Joe Mixon,
you throw Mixon into the mix as well, man. I mean, they are loaded from a skill standpoint. All right, top of the hour. Carpool Queen is here. We'll welcome in Gordon McKernan to the conversation as well. G will be telling us about some of the things going on in the NIL world, including teaming up with 14 athletes to raise money for breast cancer awareness that Gordon will talk to us about. We will also catch up with Jake Crane in the second hour, talk about the college football weekend. Not only was Alabama and Tennessee a thriller, but TCU, Oklahoma State was a great game. It was a fantastic Saturday. We'll talk all about it with Jake Crane coming up here during the second hour. Make sure to hit the like button, share button, comment button, subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that alert button so you know that when we go live. Jordy Culotta Show, Hour 2 coming back at you, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Southern Eye Center is located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southerneyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you have internet access.
Oh, my guy. The host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordy.
Always. Always. There he is. Cole Kubelik, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot and the SEC is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, Hour 2, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, just like we are every single day. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button. Gordon McKernan about to walk through the studio here, about to brief us on some NIL activity before he hops a private jet, jumps up to Aspen.
Nice.
A little place called Aspen.
That's right. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. He's driving the horse over here. PJ out of here. Should be climbing, mountain climbing by about 3 o'clock.
Where the women flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
That giggle is the carpool queen. Representing FM Digital. Also a homecoming mom this weekend.
Yes, and next weekend.
A different type of stress as a parent that I am not prepared for.
Yeah, just wait.
My next two stressors are females and car keys. I am not yet. I'm right on the doorstep of one. I've got a couple of years left before another one. Katie is in the middle of all of that.
I am in the middle of all of that.
How was this weekend?
How many White Claws did we find?
None.
How many Trulies?
None.
Oh.
How many rappers?
Right.
Everything was good. Everyone
There's really not
behaved.
that
Great
many of them.
weekend. Great Catholic homecoming. It was great. Congratulations to LSU on that win. I know I said they weren't going to win, so I'd eat my words now.
Oh, wow.
I had a horrible weekend of football.
You're back.
I'm officially done. I will not watch another game. I will not watch another Mississippi State football game this season. Like, I mean, I think I even told
Caught
David.
him in bed with Kentucky.
I was
We're separated.
I was still talking about it yesterday, and the last comment about it I made to David was, I don't even know why I went to college there.
Finally got back there.
Yeah.
Sent me a Snapchat like, oh, you look at it.
Yeah.
Send maybe a little text back.
Look,
Like,
here's my bell.
this is all I got. Yeah.
No more bells.
They came out with the new helmets, and you wanted to watch.
I did. I
The
wanted to watch
state.
those uniforms.
State.
They were great uniforms, but I'm done now. I'm done with all things Mississippi State in my life. I've been here before where I haven't finished out a season of watching games,
I
but
thought
the
you were-
disappointment is just overwhelming.
I thought you were saying it's another separation for you.
Yeah, I know, right? Right? I'm good at that.
Yeah,
I'm good
cutting
at
my
that.
ties.
I know. I'm good at breaking a commitment.
Love my kids.
Lawyer's on the way.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a good one. Yeah, he is on the way.
Yeah, he's on the way.
That's right.
Here, Katie,
That's
this is for
right.
you. Just need a signature and everything will be okay.
You've been
That's
served.
That's right.
So you officially...
I will not watch another Mississippi State football game this season.
Okay, but you'll be back next year.
I don't know.
You want to be? I mean, LSU looked fun. That was
I
a
mean,
great game.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They're
y'all.
young, sexy, new.
They are.
Quarterback.
Quarterback looks good. He can do it either way.
Harold Perkins, 30 plays.
Oof.
I know.
On special teams.
That was exciting, y'all.
It's a lot of
All
attention
it
they're
was
giving
very
you.
exciting.
Yes. Tantalizing almost.
It is very tantalizing.
Who have you been looking at?
What do you mean?
Like, if you're done with Mississippi State, who have you been eyeing?
Nobody.
LSU.
I mean,
That's the new
LSU
team.
would be the next,
Yes.
like make the most sense, right?
Nobody else?
Who else would it be?
I mean, I'm
I'm
curious.
not like a fan of another college football team. I mean, I only have hate for one other college football team.
Oh, that's what it's going to be. That you're in the spite part of your relationship where it's whoever. Look who plays Ole Miss next.
Wow.
Look
who's in town.
I know.
Look who's in town.
Look who's in town.
Oh.
I will be purpled out,
I
as
mean,
purple
if this
and
is-
tigery as I can be.
Poetic justice.
I can't wait for y'all to just run them into the ground.
Oh.
Because
Say it
they
again.
still haven't played anybody worth anything.
They're still
But
look
yet-
good though.
I mean, they're fine, but we'll see.
What uni combo did they go with this weekend?
They're going powders for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if they
totally
will.
LSU can't go all whites again.
No, LSU's just going to wear the normal white.
I hope LSU throws away the all whites.
I like them.
Yes.
I like the all white.
Why?
What's wrong? What's up with you? You just don't like anything all. You hate the Bengals all whites. You
Why?
hate,
I love the Saints color rush all whites. The best and the cleanest and the crispest all white look I've ever seen. For whatever reason, LSU's all whites to me, their logo on their helmet doesn't look like it fits on a white helmet.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it
and
just
the stripes don't line up.
It doesn't hit like it usually hits.
Yeah.
An all white top and bottom with the traditional helmet to me is a nice combination.
Yeah.
The purple
it.
tops with the white helmets and the white bottoms is my favorite.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like a white helmet with a purple top.
If I was to do any alternate,
I like those,
if
too.
I was to do any alternate uniform that LSU has worn
Give 'em black
over the last
jerseys.
25 years,
That'd be cool.
it would be LSU Ole Miss 2018, where they wore the,
The little-
1959
The little number decal.
They had the number
Yeah.
on the
Gray
decal
face
and the
mask.
gray face mask.
It was just the normal, like, yellow, white, yellow.
Okay.
But the helmets had the gray face mask and
It was
the
the
number.
It was the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the same uniforms that Billy Cannon and Warren
Oh,
Rabb.
was it like an
and-
anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
game?
celebration of the national championship season.
Okay.
In 58, because they wore them in 18, and they beat Ole Miss. That was the night that Cannon returned the kickoff.
Yep.
That's cute.
He kicked
But
the
that
teeth
to
in.
me that's the best alternate
Yeah.
uniform.
When they
that
wore
LSU
those
has.
against Mississippi State that year is when they did like the little reflective helmet, the fluorescent,
Yeah.
the purple one.
Out.
I loved it.
yeah, those
Did
were
you?
I
cool.
loved that.
You didn't like
helmet.
them?
Out.
I didn't like the jersey. I didn't like the big numbers, but the
The
helmet.
helmets
I
were
loved
cool,
the
though.
helmet.
Yeah.
What is the pro combos against Auburn in
In
2011?
Yeah.
All whites though.
Have they
They
ever
were
worn
fire.
all purple?
You got the pants right there.
Purple top and purple
they, didn't-
bottoms?
they didn't. I think they wore white tops that night.
But do they have an all purple? That would
think
look
so.
good.
I don't
I'd
think
be
they have a
into
purple
that.
helmet. You talking about like a purple helmet too?
Yeah, like everything.
Well,
purple.
you can't go all purple.
Why?
But because it would just look like trash.
Why?
Because it's not what LSU is. LSU is like one of the most stock uniforms.
It's very traditional.
It's very
Yeah, it is very
traditional. So
traditional.
when there was a time whenever they would do like Nike was doing like pro combat uniforms, and LSU would get one like every other year, and that's like, oh, this is fun for LSU because they never change what they wear. Like they're so white top, yellow pants, yellow helmet. Like they wear the same thing road and away. I mean home and away. So it's like when LSU would change, it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then it got to the point where now we're messing with like a bunch of combos.
Yeah.
It makes people upset, but I'm here for the kids. Like if they want to wear it, wear it.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
and I'm not like get off my lawn guy about it.
Not
I'm really
yet.
not. I mean, I'm really not.
You
But
are
I
there with
mean-
the
This
Bengals.
is a neighborhood.
Slow down.
Well, I just thought the Bengals it looked very high school.
Oh,
Didn't
I
look
loved it.
NFL.
I can see that. I can see where you're going with that, but I still think it's
I like it.
it's
I think.
good.
like
I think.
non-traditional.
I think
That's what
I
you
think-
wanted to happen, and
I
it
think.
happened.
I believe that the draw to the NFL uniform is because of how
You can-
professional it looks. You know, like it's always look. I mean, think about the first time you saw a professional uniform when you were a kid in person. I remember walking into the Superdome for the first time and watching the Saints play the San Francisco 49ers.
Niners have the
I
best
knew you were
uniforms
gonna say
in football.
And
Niners. I
seeing
knew it
their
was gonna be
uniform
Niners.
in person, like we walked out to like a field level type, like we were like 20 yards away from them, and me looking at you, I was just
That's what a
being like,
professional looks
golly,
like."
dude, look at this thing like shining off the lights and like the way these colors hit. Like this isn't 7th and 8th grade football. You know what I mean? This isn't
You're the one
high
fattening
school
your kid
football.
up.
Yeah, well, I mean, trying to get there.
Trying to give him the lane to run in.
But I mean, I just think that I don't know. You can overthink a uniform.
Oregon,
I agree.
Oregon, though, that's what I love about Oregon.
Yeah, they've gone
I love a different
total.
uniform.
They've gone rogue.
Yeah, they've gone
I
rogue.
love it. I love the
They've gone rogue.
non-traditional uniforms, though. It's exciting.
They
Well,
just-
Mississippi State
different.
kind of is like that.
Yeah, they change it
Yeah.
up a lot.
You know, I mean, Mississippi
Something
State
different.
is kind of like a test baby for Adidas, right?
How funny was it? Mike Leach just wearing a shirt that just said State.
I know.
He could it's like this is fresh off the printing press, just State. Like,
like-
I'll wear it.
It's
Give
like
it
a
to me.
it's
He
like a
don't care.
movie,
And
like
I'm
a
sure
movie
that's how it
when they
is.
just have to come up with a school.
Yeah,
and so
it
it's
is
just
like that.
either State or Tech.
Yeah, it's like the
What's
Dr. Pepper commercial.
What's the movie? With Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Oh yeah,
It's literally picking
he got
between
game.
State or
Yeah,
Tech.
State or Tech.
And they have a threesome in the bed. Like, okay, State.
State.
It is like
But
that.
it's so like that's Mike Leach.com. He's like, I don't even know what it says. Just get
I
on.
know.
I
He
would
didn't
go out here
care.
nude. It doesn't matter. Like
care.
I got my little play sheet.
As long
and
as I
if
get
it
my
works,
hand
it
signals.
works. Yeah.
He does not care.
I'm sorry for your loss,
Poor Mike
Katie.
Leach. It's okay. I'm past it.
It's okay.
Hey, a little rebound coming up this week.
Lane in town.
Here, that's here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're talking about Mississippi State? We play Alabama this
No,
weekend.
you're way off of it. No, I was talking about.
What the hell?
What's
Oh,
that
is
spread?
rough. That is
I don't
tough.
know. I haven't even
my.
looked. I haven't even
Alabama
looked.
after a loss.
How about
People-
Ogeron in South
know,
Bend?
I know. What is the deal with that?
Dude, he's
That
turning
guy.
it.
He's like
turning
a
it.
homeless person.
He's
He
like,
is like
Or a drug addict. Like, where's football? Can I get some football? You don't have any football in here
it
for
is
me?
like that.
My son works here.
can I chest bump somebody?
Yeah. Spit in my mouth.
I mean,
Let's get back to
What's he
football.
doing? What's
it
Football?
is
Football.
strange, man.
He's addicted to the thing and that wants something to do with it. Where's
Why
he gonna
Notre
land?
Dame?
What's he gonna do?
I
Why
don't
there?
know.
Why isn't this the second time he's been there this season?
I think his son works. Does
I
he have
think
a
his son
there?
works at Miami.
I mean, he's got so many. I mean, he's got probably just spreading them around.
What's the tie to
He was
Notre
spreading it
Dame?
around. There ain't no
School,
doubt
yeah.
about that.
What's the tie to Notre Dame?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't think there
they
is one.
know.
I mean,
just showed
someone
up.
has to know.
Anger.
I think he
He might
like
be
showed up. I
Catholic.
think he like showed up at the summer camp like the week after they hired
Yeah.
Kelly. And he was
Yeah.
kind
It
of like
was-
a rah guy.
Yeah.
It was
And kind of
like
Notre
that.
Dame was kind of like, well, we've got Coach O. You know, they're like,
Cool.
okay. You know, like, ask him to rip his shirt off.
Make him punch himself.
He was in a black leather jacket too. It's such an interesting look he's going with.
Awesome.
Leather gloves.
I don't know what the look is. Is that G?
I mean, I feel like he would like have like theme music if he wanted. I feel like the air would cool down a little bit or
Like
something.
an entourage comes in too, like Snoop's
Fucking
entourage.
great night.
Oh, dude, that was
What
a great
club.
episode.
It's a great club.
That was early. Is that when
And
that's when they're on the Jimmy Kimmel show? Yeah.
And then it's the brother that like steals the show. Like he runs out on stage and
Drama.
like drama. And fucking great night.
Yeah. He puts the hat on Kimmel.
It all feels so real.
It does.
This happened. But if we want to take it to LSU real quick before, never
There he
mind.
is. I can feel it.
Shuddered.
I thought I felt the horse driving up. Right, there he is. All right, he is walking in. Let us reset real quick. We'll be right back. We're going to talk some NIL. Gordon's got a cool initiative going on supporting breast cancer awareness in the month of October that he has inked an NIL deal with 14 athletes. We will ask him all about that. We will also get an update on what it's like watching here in the first season of NIL in his position and what the future is like as it is ever changing here. Come back with us. Hit the like button, share button, comment button. If you don't mind, we'll be right back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
I mean, I think Dante Moore is the guy that they are waiting to find out what happens next. You're on camera, Lloyd.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think he's coming.
I really think that Ricky Collins is going to be the quarterback that LSU is going after. I really do. We had Denbrock through here. We had Joe Sloan through here. We've talked to Marcus Randall. We've talked to Rohan Davey. We talked to people around Collins, and I think LSU feels that he's the one that they want, and he's the one that they can get at this point.
What did Marcus say?
That LSU needs to pick it up. You know, I mean, I think that.
Oh, they're making up ground, I'm sure.
But look, Joe Sloan's done great with the quarterbacks. He really has. I think that Sloan is he is a relationship builder. He is a guy that understands and really embraces recruiting, and he knows that they need to sign a quarterback in this class, and Ricky Collins is an SEC caliber quarterback that, LSU just they didn't have the relationship. The program didn't have the relationship built like it needed to be once Kelly and them took the job over. So they had to make up some ground. But I do believe that when it's all said and done, when it all shakes out, I think LSU is going to get a quarterback, and I think that it's going to be Ricky Collins. I'm not saying that the sky is falling, but I'm saying you're starting to see trends that are not normal within Louisiana recruiting, where you're seeing routinely the top players. I know that Arch Manning was never coming to LSU. Hell, I even know Eli Holstein was never coming to LSU. But I thought Derek Williams was going to come down to the end and he was going to have a chance to go to LSU. It felt like Derek Williams was never even close to coming to LSU. Right? And maybe it's the money. Maybe it is. I don't know what the deciding factor is. I know this, that after last night, I got some reaction from some college coaches around the country that just saw it, and they have Louisiana ties. It's nobody that's like watching the show looking. It's people that are just curious about what's going on at LSU and have Louisiana ties that are on staffs right now at Power 5 schools, and said, bro, you're spot on when you're talking about Frank Wilson. As somebody that is recruiting against LSU, that is going into Louisiana, we're looking around and we see purple and gold polos coming through the schools, and everybody's wondering, why isn't Frank here? Why isn't Frank in Louisiana? Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. As always, we have been on this project and getting the Jordy Culotta Show going, one of our supporters since day one, and somebody that we have gone to and been so grateful for has been Gordon McKernan. And obviously, since him going into the NIL space, he has been a great resource for us to learn more about how that kind of operates and functions. And he is kind enough to be back in studio with us, talking about a great initiative that they've got going on here in the month of October, bringing awareness and raising money to support breast cancer awareness. It is always good to see Gordon McKernan, our friend. Gordon, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely good. Good to see you. Tell me about this NIL first year. Here we are in the middle of the football season. What's it like to kind of sit back and watch a game?
It's like being a Tiger fan on a roller coaster, right? And one week you're excited about, and the next week you're questioning, what was I thinking, right? You watch one of your players out there who you care for and support, and they're like, "Ooh, I can't believe he just did that." You're wondering if you're going to get hit up on Tiger droppings with, McKernan doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know who to sign.
Right,
so it's been a wave of up and down emotion, but it's been fun getting to know these kids.
Yeah. We have one of your commercials that we run during our show every day, and you've got 14 or you've got 11 football players in one ad.
Yeah.
First off, I'm in media.
Yeah.
I try to get one of these guys to show up to an interview, and it's like, it's like going back and forth. 11 guys in one spot. What was that like?
I have to give
Who got a raise there?
Yeah, I have to give props to my marketing department for getting them there. And we started weeks in advance, calling several times, texting several times a week, reminding them. And as you can imagine, the day of, all of a sudden, or the day before, I won't tell you which player, but you can probably guess. Well, I'm in Atlanta. I can't come.
Yeah.
I got a family emergency. We're
Les Weeks?
I'm like, no. Let me tell you, well, you ain't getting paid, so you better get here. So it worked out, and it turned out to be a fun shoot, and they actually liked it. You know,
Sure.
they love seeing themselves on TV and things like that. So it's a good experience.
We asked you about it getting into it. Now that it is up and moving, do you feel like the investment is worth the payoff, or are you finding that you can find a return on it?
Yeah, I think there is a return on it. Now, sometimes I overdo things, and I get caught up in the moment, and maybe I spend more than I should, right? Not thinking through it clearly as a businessman, and maybe my heart gets in the way, and my competitive desire gets in the way. And there's definitely a space for it for business owners and fans to support the university that they love, the players they care about. It's definitely worth it. There is a payoff. Now, where that line is on the best return on investment, I'm still trying to figure that out.
People will recognize you and think LSU football. It's beyond that, though.
Yeah.
Right? You've got athletes spread all over the state. Tell me how that has been kind of networking this part of your company.
Yeah, well, we have 12 offices throughout the state, so certainly wanted to give those kids in different towns an opportunity, right, to work with our brand, support our brand, and we just have what we kind of call ambassadors in each city. And if there's a great story or a kid who's playing really well or just attracting attention, then we start, kind of vetting them and looking into them and establish a little relationship. And it's worked out. Had some great baseball players up at La Tech last year, and we got football players around the state and basketball players around the state. So it's been a good thing.
How many people around the country have reached out to you? Just curious. And how many people have you reached out to around the country that maybe you feel are doing this the correct way, or that you're curious on how they're doing it?
Yeah, I'm definitely curious on how a lot of people are doing it. Hearing from different boosters at other collectives and what they're doing and how they're doing it. It interests me from a lawyer and how you're really doing that legally. Not that anything's illegal, but I'm talking more of the NCAA scrutiny about it. You have to be very careful what you're doing. You have to get good advice. I have Bob Barton, former LSU sports lawyer, who now does this for me, and he does a great job and keeps me out of trouble.
Lawyers have lawyers.
Lawyers. If you understood how much I pay every month for lawyers outside of just to consult me and make sure I'm doing the right thing in our company.
Wow. Where do you see this evolving to now that you're learning about it?
Yeah.
Harold Perkins.
Yeah, Harold. Yeah, Harold. It's interesting. I do think, you keep hearing Congress will get involved one day. Probably will. There needs to be some unification. It'll be interesting to see once this mad rush to the door that's happened over the last year, it settles down a little bit. If there's a pullback in spending, right? Talking to the folks at Texas and talking to the folks at Texas A&M that I have some relationships with over there, I don't know if those guys are going to keep reaching their pocket as easily, right? It's an interesting. There's a feeling I can sense out there that they might go, I don't know if this is really what it's cracked up to be, right?
What's your emotion like on a Saturday when I spent last week complaining into this microphone about Harold Perkins not playing as much?
Yeah.
He's on your roster.
Yeah, he is.
How do you, when you watch a game, do you watch it emotionally?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have trouble with it. I tend to turn the TV off and walk away from it, out of the room, come back in, turn it back on.
He's still not playing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Just, trying to question, well, what is that about? And I think I've heard y'all talk about Harold's a special athlete, right? He really is. And he can cover the spread, right? He literally
speaking my language.
Yeah, he can play cornerback. I mean, he really could. I mean, the way he moves, the fluidity of it, he could play anywhere. So it was interesting, and I kind of sent some feelers out to go, hey, what's going on up here? I still don't understand. I haven't got a good answer yet on it. But
really?
He played a lot more this past game, and we see what he does, right? Just some kids know how to make a play.
How much do those answers dictate how much you'll be involved in the future?
That's a good question. Yeah, so I mean, obviously you're investing a certain amount of money in certain kids to perform on the field, and if those kids for some reason are not on the field, you begin to scratch your head, right? And go, this is interesting. That I've got I've got Mason Smith, like for example, and like he got injured, and happy to continue to support him. So that's an interesting investment on who should have been an All-American this year, and now he's sitting out.
Investment coach.
Yeah,
You're okay there.
So when you have these other kids who you're trying to scratch your head, going, John Emery is one of our players, and by all accounts, when you look at him and you talk to the people out there, he's the most talented athlete. He's got pro Sunday potential, and he's still not playing. You got a walk-on from Houston who's beating him out. I don't know why that is, and I don't fully understand it. I know John sometimes can be a little challenging for them.
Sure.
He's still growing into the role of hopefully being a starting running back on a Power 5 team, and into the pros he's got to mature some. But there's a lot of talent there that he's not being used. So I don't know, but I do evaluate it.
Louisiana is legally allowing NIL to be done with high school athletes, which you have gotten into the space as well. What do you think about that, and can that last?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've got MK up in Shreveport.
Trey Holly.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Yeah, great kid. I'm talking with
Shelton Sampson.
Shelton, yeah. Should have that done hopefully here pretty soon. I think it's a good thing for him. Got to be very, very careful, obviously, as a booster at LSU, and I make a deal with one. If they end up at LSU, then does that get looked at? So it's got to be completely arm's length and all those things. And I do have a lot of high school parents around the state. They'll just reach out, a little email, and say, "Hey, look, have you seen my kid play?" And
he's
we
5'6" and 150 pounds.
Yeah.
No.
That's right.
Has he got a legal career?
Yeah.
I can help with the bar.
From the standpoint of investing into high school athletes and seeing that where it could go, how much is the NCAA in contact with you? How much are the regulators?
Never heard from anybody, right? Because again, we're doing things the right way. Bob, look at this, a high school kid, got to make sure we do everything right, and we do it.
Is anybody regulating it that you know of?
No, I mean, I'm sure the NCAA is trying to look at things, but I think there's some bigger fish to fry in that department, right? They got some people doing some interesting things and some big dollar things I think that they would want to look at.
Right. Absolutely. This is cool. Your initiative on breast cancer awareness. Tell me what's going on here. You've got 14 NIL athletes that I know are taking part in this, and this is kind of it's interactive.
Yeah, it is in a sense. I came up with the idea, and when I was meeting with Mason for the first time and trying to come up with creative ways, because Mason's into branding himself and trying to figure it out, and I said maybe we could do something. You'd make a sack, and we'd have callers, in the weeks before, come up with a dance. They'd send in a video of a dance that you would do after a sack, right? And then you'd select it, whichever be the winner, and you'd do that dance, right? And that person would get $500 or something like that. That was just me being creative, and he loved it. He goes, "Man, that'd be awesome." And so I told Bob about it, and he said, it's a little bit interesting. So I spun that from, what about big plays? Any player who makes a big play on the field will donate to a charity, right? So this one's going to be breast cancer. So when that happens, whether it's a touchdown, a certain run, and we're still trying to work out all the details on it, we'll make donations to the charities locally, breast cancer charities, and we'll match it, and we'll go up to $5,000 or whatever, or at least $5,000.
Wow, you've been dishing out a lot of money for Kayshawn on Saturday night. That was good to see.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
The only guys happy is not the
All right, that's right.
That was good to see. It was also good to see him and Brian Kelly after the game.
Yeah, you could see it. And I think BK was sincere in what he said, and he's been expecting that and wanting that. And in my couple of conversations with Brian about it, we all know the talent's there, right? But just the discipline, the focus has got to get there. And you saw it. I mean, last week he had a great week of practice, and it showed.
You have to receive thanks for what you're doing around the community. I'd imagine with as much as you are out and about right now, do you hear from people publicly as much as I'd imagine you do?
Yeah, I mean, some, and I think I've spoken with you about that. I make no secret that what I do as a living isn't everybody's favorite occupation, right? And I get that. So just raising the goodwill level up for what I do in my profession or myself, has occurred, and I think that's through this, right? They see that, okay, well, good, he's supporting local kids, local university. That's a good thing. He's giving back, and it kind of lowers that negative sentiment a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. And as I've always said, this goes back to the days that I first met you, was
Yeah.
when we were calling John Gordon's game
Yeah.
on the radio. And this, I mean, you haven't changed
No.
that much from what
No.
was happening back then with U High.
That's right.
It's great to see you. Thank you,
Yeah.
as always. Safe travels.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
We will see you again soon. Gordon McKernan, the man spearheading what's going on with NIL down here in Baton Rouge, and has a really cool initiative happen right now, bringing awareness to breast cancer through 14 athletes that he has got deals with. We'll tell you a lot more about that, but it is good to hear from him. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show here. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll talk more about the college football weekend with Jake Crane coming up here when we get back. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm about to park. It's perfect timing.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Welcome back, Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Monday. A Monday regular that we always go to is our guy, Jake Crane. Crane, of course, of Crane & Company. Talking college football weekend. It was a great college football weekend. Not just Alabama and Tennessee. We'll also talk a little Oklahoma State. TCU was a classic. Jake, good morning. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. Fantastic weekend of football. Got a good one coming up this weekend as well. But, man, y'all's LSU Tigers really handled business, huh?
Oh, bro, that was much needed for that LSU offense. What did you see from Jaden Daniels?
Well, you pushed the ball down the field for the first time. I mean, if you watched him before, every time he dropped back in the pocket and he'd see Butte or Neighbors or somebody deep, he was like the goalie from that movie, The Big Green. Have you all ever seen it where every time they're dribbling the soccer ball toward the goal, like they turn into like ghosts or zombies or like knights or ninjas? But he actually rode with the fear. It's like Zach Wilson. Sometimes you got to ride with the fear. Florida's been really schizophrenic. To me, Florida's the hardest team to project how they're going to play because they've been all over the place. But I thought LSU being able to push the ball down the field opened up the underneath for Jaden Daniels, not only be able to throw the intermediate short game, but also to be able to run the ball. That's as good as I feel like he can play. That played right into his game. Defensively, was LSU great? No, but they didn't have to be. It was another example of being able to win in multiple ways, and it seems like if Jaden can turn that corner to start challenging people vertically and stretching the field vertically, it just makes everybody better. It helps out the offensive line in the run game. All of a sudden, when you're running inside zone, there's a little more room to cut back. Or you're running power and counter, that safety's a little bit hesitant to come downhill or off play action. He doesn't trust it because you're able to work down the field. So just those little things. It was a big one for LSU and Brian Kelly, and I'll tell you what, that guy from Notre Dame who came on our show may never come back on again. He's been getting roasted on Twitter. He messaged me after that. He's like, man, I didn't realize it would cause all this. They were even calling me a liberal. I was like, yeah. I'm shocked.
No way.
Yeah.
When I say SEC Western Division race, what do you think?
I think it's the second best division in the SEC. But right now, I have a hard time believing Ole Miss is going to that Ole Miss is going to be able to beat Alabama, especially with the way they've played. Them getting penalized twice at Texas and then again at Tennessee the way they did is just baffling. Typically, you only see that happen once a year, if at all, with the Saban team. I still think you got to pick Alabama to win it. Again, they only have one loss. And in my mind, guys, I'm trying to decide if maybe this year there actually is more parity and at the top and that there's a lot more teams that can win it this year. Or am I just really seeing a run of 2021 and don't know it? I hope it's the first one. I really do. But I would still be surprised if it was anybody other than Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship. The real question now becomes if Clemson goes undefeated and then you have a TCU or a UCLA go undefeated, there's practically no way for two SEC teams to get in. But on the flip side, if Clemson loses a game, if UCLA loses a game, if TCU loses a game, and stay with me here, guys, Ole Miss only loses to Bama, and Bama only loses to Tennessee, and Tennessee only loses to Georgia, and then Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship.
Oh, my God.
Could you have 3 SEC teams in the playoff? They would never allow that to happen. Joe Klatt would go on a shooting spree. Him and Danny Cannell together would be like Bonnie and Clyde coming down here. But it's very interesting to watch.
How good is Tennessee? Is Tennessee national championship good?
I think they are. I think they are. And, people will say, all right, well, they're a one-trick pony. It's really not true. Even if they were, it's a hell of a trick. I mean, speaking of Hendon Hooker, I said on Saturday he's the most dangerous hooker since Eileen Warnos. They're so deadly offensively because they're always able to get that first down. But I think it's really a testament to their depth that you're able to lose Cedric Tillman and have a guy like Keaton come and step up, Brew McCoy be what everybody thought he was going to be transferring from USC to Tennessee, and now you're getting Cedric Tillman back. I think they can score on anybody in the country that I've seen, Georgia included. The question is, just like against Alabama, Can they get enough stops or turnovers on defense with Burrell being out for the year? With McCullough being in trouble and being suspended, we'll see where that goes, because the depth on defense is as good as it's been since Josh has been there. He hadn't been that long, but the key is to be balanced. I want to say they can, but I do also get, you remember Baker Mayfield and Oklahoma vibes, the way that team was put together, where they were running around scoring 45, 50 points a game, but they struggled to stop potent offenses. Will that be the thing that holds Tennessee back if they get to the playoff? But I do think this team has a chance to beat anybody in the country.
Does Alabama have issues, or do they just get beat by a good team?
I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. They got beat by a good team, number one. I mean, you've gone into a hostile environment, and really they tried to hand you the game. I mean, they literally tried to give Dallas Turner and Alabama the game, but it's the penalties. That's what it is. I mean, you set the record for Nick Saban at Alabama penalty yardage wise against Texas before the fourth quarter even starts, and then you one up that against Tennessee. As good as Alabama is, as good as Bryce Young is, as talented as they are around in the skill position up front, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is freaking out on a consistent basis every Saturday. You still cannot commit that many penalties and expect to win in a game like that. So it's at the end of the day, Jordy, Alabama's good enough to do what they want to do, but they're not safe from losing if they don't play well. And I don't think they played horrible against Tennessee, but from a penalty standpoint, you really put yourself in a bad position. And I'll say this, anybody that's blaming the refs for Alabama losing that game, that's BS. Alabama lost that game. They had a chance to win it. You're up 7 with 7 minutes to go? And then Tennessee drives down and scores, and then you have a chance to win it again. Yeah. And Will Reichert, misses it by a semi-truck, but you had your chances. You just weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, they dropped one late in that game, too. They could have set them up.
Yep.
USC falling to Utah. What does that say for Lincoln Riley here in year one? What does that mean?
Look, I think USC defensively, they've been punching above their weight the whole year. I mean, they led the country in turnovers. Now, some of them were gifts. Every turnover is not created equally. But you finally ran into a team that was better than you up front, and you didn't get lucky on the defensive side. Now, when you have Caleb Williams and Mario Williams, and apparently anybody whose last name Williams that's good at football, along with Travis Dye and the other guy, Jordan Addison as well, you're going to score points. I mean, guys, Caleb Williams is a legitimate NFL player. I mean, he's as talented as what everybody thinks he is. They just don't have the cats on the defensive line right now to be able to dominate on that side of the ball. Cameron Rising, who I swear is an Ewok that's dressed up in human clothing. Just watch the way he runs. Anybody whose arms go out when they run, it's a lot harder to tackle, believe me. But you just ran into a team that was a little bit better than you up front. But look, USC is going to be fine. I think Lincoln's going to get the linemen in there, and they'll be back.
How good is TCU?
Man, they're good. I mean, that wide receiver core, guys, that they got, they've got height, length, speed. They got the shorter guy, I think his name's Darius Days, believe it or not, who's an absolute witch in the return game and in the intermediate game. But, I do think TCU is good enough on defense to be able to let their offense continue to win games. Max Duggan is in that honey hole of having a ton of experience and not breaking out yet. He's, used this year as a breakout. I mean, he's damn sponsored by Proactive. But I think TCU's for real. You look at the schedule, the back half, the last 5, though, I give them about a 20% chance to run that gauntlet. I mean, you've got to go to Texas. You look at the rest of to Baylor, I believe. So it's not going to be a walk in the park at the end. But TCU, they've been a great story. Sonny Dykes coming over from SMU, replacing Gary Patterson, has really brought some life into that program.
Last one, I'll get you out of here. Ole Miss pulling into town this weekend as a top 10 team after defeating Auburn on Saturday. I thought that they looked vulnerable in some spots. Tell me about what you think about Ole Miss pulling in at 2:30 on Saturday.
God, I can't wait to take LSU money line because I know they're going to be dogs most likely. Look, Ole Miss is a good team, right? They're a good team. I don't think they're an elite team. I think they're a team that is a little bit different in a different vein than what we've seen from Lane Kiffin. They are a true run-to-pass team, and that includes Jackson Dart. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't test you down the field. That doesn't mean that they won't throw 30 passes in a game, but it relies on that running back duo and what Judkins has been able to do as a freshman. But that offensive line, guys, remember, the offensive line coach was fired during the spring for Ole Miss, and they're still rolling it up and being really effective in the run game. The defense is what worries me, especially with mobile quarterbacks that can extend plays, and that's exactly what you got with Jaden Daniels. And if he keeps attacking down the field, I don't think Ole Miss can score enough in the way that they play against LSU. I said it on the show this morning. I like LSU at least to this point in this game.
Wow. Jake Crane at Jake Crane _ Crane and Company. You can hear him here every Monday morning on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you, bro. Have a great week.
Hey, appreciate y'all, guys. Talk to y'all next Monday.
All right, man. There he is. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, get in touch with Rhett and the crew at rmb-builders.com. Great Instagram for RMB Builders. It's blowing up over there. Make sure and follow them on social media. You can get work through their Instagram as well. It'll direct you to contact the contact information for Rhett and the crew. rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com is where you can find them online. Get in touch with Rhett if you want a custom design home, if you want to build your dream home, if you just need some work done around the house. Get in touch with RMB. rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southerneyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
Oh, whatever.
Day at FM Digital. Yeah, whatever. Can't even do the document right. We haven't been doing this a year at all. Who knows? Whatever.
Welcome back. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Make sure and subscribe if you don't mind. Hit the bell so you know when we go live. The watch party was awesome on Saturday.
Thank you. I know you're trying to make us do it for home
Good
games
stuff.
now. Yeah, I mean, you got a bunch. I mean, 13 going on 30 over here, Coach. Like, I still got to go to the games and see my heroes play.
Do you?
Yeah.
My heroes.
Harold Perkins.
Well, come to the man.
I love all this anti-Ole Miss talk though in the chat after Jake's segment.
Yeah, it's Ole Miss hate week.
That makes me so happy.
Oh, piss.
Makes me.
They're the hell, Ole Miss.
Have y'all
so
seen the video of the guy that like comes up with like he's doing like it's like a round table of how they came up with the school's mascot.
Yeah, I posted that one for Alabama.
Yeah, the
He's
Alabama
awesome.
one and the Ole Miss one is so funny.
I haven't
it's like,
seen that
oh,
one.
it's perfect.
Oh,
You're
I gotta
gonna
go
love
check.
it. Yeah.
I love it.
It is unbelievable. It's like land sharks, black bears, ribs, hotty toddy. What's that mean? Like, where'd that come from?
I love that.
Like
guy.
they're all over the place.
They
When you
are.
put it in that like context.
Yes,
like,
you do
What
wonder.
are y'all doing?
Yes.
What happened to black bears?
Why
They
are we land
hated it.
sharks?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, they just
They
so
like
just,
refused it.
So they're just back to the rebels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just refused it.
They still are in the war, Coach. They're still
Yeah.
fighting the Civil War.
They really
we
are.
didn't lose shit.
I mean, they will not let it go. They will not
unbelievable.
I mean, they're still flying rebel flags around the square up there. It's crazy.
It'll come around.
It's
That's-
nuts.
like, who's thinking like that? Like,
How do
oh,
they get players?
I don't know, but they're not
come to the
rednecks.
SIP.
Come to the SIP.
They're not the rednecks.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah, we're the rednecks.
Yeah.
State.
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 Hell yeah.
Cardinal.
Come to state.
Nobody's going to state anymore.
Oof.
Oh,
God,
not my
man,
kids.
bro.
I mean, they weren't anyway.
Cut so deep.
I told David too when I told him I don't even know why I went to school there. Also, it was like I'm so glad I didn't waste time going to a game there this week. I mean, this football season. Why would I have wasted my time in Starkville?
We need to
10-point
post
win.
a video. Katie's
no
rant.
no one will ever see that video but y'all. And
How
my
bad?
one
And
friend
the
in
Culotta
Mississippi,
Show
I
Twitter
sent it to.
followers.
How bad is Penn State's offense?
Oh,
They hate that quarter. They hate
They
Clifford,
don't
the
like
big
him.
red dog. They
They
do
don't like
not
him.
like him. The freshman's better.
Yes, he's better, but I mean, like, there should be 3 SEC teams in the playoff. I mean, I haven't seen anybody better than Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, or Ohio State. Maybe Clemson. Maybe.
I still don't
I'm not a
think
believer.
so.
I'm not a believer.
Clemson?
You're right.
No,
Really?
I would love to play Clemson.
Yeah.
After 2019, you saw what it was. I mean, you saw what it's like. That's who they are. They're Notre Dame East, where it's like you can't play with the big dogs. Like, I appreciate you coming out. If you don't have Deshaun, like they had a game changer at quarterback, and that's why they were able to win. You had Trevor Lawrence. Like, if you can get a guy like that, you can compete. But I don't think
their freshman, the Klubnik,
is the
he's
guy
legit.
over.
I think he's
Yeah,
better
no,
than
he is.
I think he's better than DJ.
Hey, aren't they ranked?
Yeah, they're like number
Oh,
4.
I said,
So what are we talking? Why are we saying
but-
they're not?
But yeah, no. If
It's
you're,
the same story every year.
If you're LSU, like, would you? I would line it up with Clemson tomorrow.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, and feel
I'm
great.
telling you, if I'm coaching LSU, there's nobody on the schedule that scares me.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
like,
Bama's
I
still-
understand that you're not going to be expected to match up. You're going to be underdogs against Alabama. But if I'm in the locker room, I'm looking
Right.
at Alabama saying, fellas, what makes Alabama vulnerable, we got.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good. They can't guard Brian Thomas. Kayshawn, if you're going to be involved early, they can't guard you. Jeray Jenkins is a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're the things that LSU can do, Alabama struggles with. And if Jaden Daniels is going to play like he did on Saturday, well, I mean, LSU's a totally different team. That
Right.
puts all types of new pressure on you as a defense if that's who LSU is. I mean, it's one thing for Daniels to take a drop back and look down the field, not like what he sees, and just take off.
Right.
It's another thing to just throw that thing up in the air and see what Brian Thomas does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you saw on Saturday, odds are he's probably
He's
going to
gonna
make the
catch
play.
it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so just throw that thing up and see what happens. And LSU is a totally different, and I trust the defense.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I think if they were to get into a game where, I think they got something for Bryce Young.
Yeah. I mean, just like last year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're going to be, as far as the schedule looks, they should be in every game left. I mean, I know what Arkansas beat the hell out of BYU. It was like 52-38.
Why are they playing each other?
Yeah,
That's
why?
a
It's
terrible
interesting.
schedule.
But
It was
Like,
just
whoever-
in the middle of SEC play.
Whoever was in charge of making that schedule,
How did
they have
BYU
better
get
have
the
lost
Holy
their
War?
job, or they should lose their job. Like, I mean, if I am Sam Pittman, I'm
Soaking.
like,
Yeah.
who the hell put this in October?
In the middle of SEC
I mean,
play,
like,
playing
can
the
we
Norman.
reschedule Petrino again? I mean, like, we'd rather play him than play BYU.
We
I mean, they play BYU and then they play Auburn and then they throw Liberty in before LSU and Ole Miss.
It's the
What kind of
hardest, it's the
schedule is
hardest
this?
schedule in the country.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Go play
Hey,
McNeese.
Sam, we hate you. Good luck.
The-
I mean, if
what's-
that was the AD, bro, I mean, be like, bro, what, are you trying to get me fired?
Well, he's just Coach O in a different polo.
I don't know. I'd take Sam Pittman over Coach.
Yeah, I love Sam Pittman.
I'm
do.
just telling you what it
No,
is.
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but he doesn't have the
Hose. Bill Gluckman.
he doesn't have the drawbacks.
Did you say the host?
Yeah. I don't know what Sam's like,
He
but
seems very sweet.
he does. So did O.
Go home, have me a nice cold beer.
O didn't really have him fooled.
What'd you go in that championship? Had me a ham sandwich. Yeah, I bet you did. What it looked like.
Roast beefy.
Extra meat.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, no cheese.
It was good to. Where are all the Florida State fans at?
Oh,
What happened?
they
I
ran
mean,
away.
Where are they at, dude? Is it Clemson or Florida State's daddy? Is that who that is? Is that the 7th straight time Clemson has beat Florida State? I mean, I thought y'all were for real.
It's kind of disappointing. I was rooting for Florida State.
I
It was
kind
a
of
fun story.
I needed them to keep
It'd
winning.
be good
Me
when we
too.
pulled up to Orlando
Yeah.
next year.
I hope we match up in a bowl game
No, we got to. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
and then play them again.
That'd be awesome.
The
Okay.
three-part series.
Go running your fat offensive line again.
I do feel like LSU would beat Florida State now.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so funny.
Oh my god. If LSU would have played Southern before they played Florida State, they'd have beat them.
I mean,
They just needed one game to get the bugs out, get the cobwebs out.
well, we keep saying that for special teams. It turns out it's every game. We're just going to commit the turnover. At least we're going to do the thing.
They're bad on special
It's
teams.
unbearable.
Don't even
to
take the
watch.
defense off the field. They're going to go back right back out there.
Yeah.
It was great to see that for Ramos, though.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
That
What was
was-
your biggest takeaway from the LSU game?
That the wide receiver core is how you win.
Right.
That's how you win. Put it in their hands.
We weren't wrong about that.
I mean, like, put the ball in those cats' hands and be in every game. And that really opens up Jaden's running lanes.
I mean,
you could make it. They were doing it backwards, and you can make it to where it looks like this.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you have the recipe. Just
I mean,
make sure you
the
put it in.
check down does so much for his confidence, the quarterbacks, and his ability to run. I mean, when he's got the security and the emergency dump off to an outlet that can pick up, 8, 10, 12 yards rather than having to run that. Well, now when he chooses to run it, it puts more pressure on the defense. I'm telling you, that is a problem for defenses. LSU being able to make plays in the pass game and then having a quarterback that can move like that. Now, you got to keep him upright. You got to keep him protected. But that's a dangerous formula for defenses to have to match up with, because I just don't think that you have enough cover guys to take these cats away. I mean, your second or third best cover guy going against Jeray Jenkins or Brian Thomas, good luck. I mean, good luck, man. I mean, LSU will take that matchup all day. And then you start shifting coverage over to Thomas, and you open up Malik Neighbors or Kayshawn. And if Kayshawn's going to, run, move, catch the ball like he did the other night, then, refuel the thing. Let's roll. Let's go. I mean, that
was my most promising takeaways. Like, when you get it to him, he looked good. Like, it wasn't, you always see, you want to question his health or what have you. You haven't seen him yet, it feels like. And for him to be able to get out in the open like that and start moving around, you're like, okay, he's fine. His foot's not a problem. But how different of a conversation are we having if they don't call that roughing the passer and it's a penalty? I mean, they don't call that roughing the passer and it's a pick in the fourth quarter, and Florida's looking at scoring 21 straight.
I still think LSU wins the game. I mean, I know it's easy to play that now here. What if? What would have happened?
Which is such a massive call.
But it was a huge call. I just thought that LSU dominated that game. You know what I mean? I thought that fourth quarter, they missed some tackles that they were making early on. The thing got a little closer than it should have. But I thought it was clear that LSU was better.
Mm-hmm.
It just, if it was going to go to OT or for whether LSU was going to have a chance to win it at the buzzer, I just felt like LSU was going to win. And if they didn't, it was going to be, wow. I mean, the better team.
How do you let that one go?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I thought it was going to OT, too. I really did. I was ready for that. Also, why is Billy Napier's hair so short? That was my biggest takeaway and question.
Discipline.
What?
Discipline.
He's had that haircut probably since the 5th grade.
Oh, God. I bet you if you looked up his college,
same cut.
Exactly the
same cut.
I don't like it. It's lazy.
Same cut.
I wanted them to. I wanted in the Go Bowl. I wanted them to have to whoever lost, they have to switch haircuts. I want Brian Kelly with the fade.
Oh my God, that would be so crazy looking.
And then have Billy Napier with just the
come
straight
over,
edge.
come over.
That would be great.
No drugs for me, please.
All right, hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Make sure and subscribe to Chopping It Up with Kador and Mic'd Up, both coming at you here on this Monday, a part of FM Digital. We will also be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Hit the like button, share button, comment button. Appreciate Gordon McKernan for stopping in, and
no
to
watch party
Jake
this
Crane. As stay tuned, there could be one.
We need an audio engineer as well.
We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.